Welcome back, YouTube subscribers. So today we got the Garmin Striker Plus CV Plus transducer that came with raw wires, and we need to make that so that I can connect it to my battery, which I have connected up with a quick connect disconnect. That's a lot of connecting, but okay. Anyway, so today I'm going to show you how to splice in a quick connect adapter so that you can connect it and disconnect it from the battery quickly, and so that you don't have to be fumbling with little fobs and connectors and things like that. It's a real easy connection. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy. All right, guys, welcome back. So here's what we have. We have the Hopkins accessory extension, which is what I currently have connected to my battery via a port on the dry box. So we're going to go ahead and put that on the fish finder cable so that we can connect the two together quickly when I'm mounting and dismounting the boat. We have an assorted set of butt splices and some Raychem heat shrink tubing. Now I got these three items at the local hardware store. I'll provide links in the description. The Hopkins accessories extension I purchased off of Amazon. And then of course you need a fish finder, but anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out, we're going to bring around the actual fish finder, which I've already unboxed. If you want to see that video, I'll provide it in the description. So we have the Garmin Striker Plus CV, 4 CV Plus transducer. So we're going to set that off to the side because we don't need it quite yet. But what we do need is the power cable for it. So Garmin was nice enough and understanding and to leave raw wires on one end and then the terminal plug that goes into the actual fish finder so that you can connect to whatever connectors you need. Now, I chose the Hopkins accessory extension as my choice of connect, and I'll explain that in a second. But what this is about $3 on Amazon, and it literally comes with two connectors on it. Now obviously I can't connect it like this, so if you watched my battery box build out, then you know that I have one that's already spliced. So that's what I'm going to be using to connect to the fish finder. All right. First, we are going to splice these wires on an 18, because, you know, if you watch the dry box, you'll notice that I couldn't figure out which cable to use. So 18, pull off the white, twist the copper so that it doesn't fray, and then do the same on the red. All right, so now we have two raw wires and a connector. We are going to disregard the blue and the brown on the Garmin, so I'm actually just going to snip those right here. I don't need them. And then I also have some handy dandy electrical tape, pretty much used for everything. And for right now, we are literally just going to tape around these so that they don't get in the way and don't get caught up in anything. Later I'll be putting some heat shrink tubing on there. So you're left with the red and the black. Okay? These already came pre-cleaned, so you have raw right there. So your Hopkins connector has a white and a red, obviously red to red and then white to black. So using the butt splice connectors, I believe we're going to go with blue because that appears to be the closest in size. Trim these down a little bit. My wire cutters apparently do not want to cut today. All right, got those trimmed down a little bit. So then we are going to slide one end into the blue connector and crimp it down. Grab another blue connector, slide the white end in, and crimp it down. And for my own satisfaction, I like to use a pair of locking vice grips that allow me to really clamp down on these to make sure there's a good connection. Alright, so one end is spliced in. So now we're going to connect in the fish finder side for the fish finder battery, or for the fish finder cable, and then we're going to clamp that down. And black. Make sure your cable is seated very well, otherwise you won't get a good connection. And you'll have to splice these cables again. Alright, so they're connected. Locking vice grips. Same thing on the red side. Alrighty. So before we go further, I'm going to go ahead and test to see if this works, to make sure that my connections are solid. So I'm going to take my fish finder, I'm going to plug in the battery, plug in the cable. Alright. And I'm going to take my battery over here and I'm going to plug in this side. So when I hit the power button, this should come on. And there we go, folks. Fish finder is powered on. All my connections are good. Go ahead and power it off. Disconnect. And finish up on this wire. So, as is, it would work. However, I like clean lines and clean functionality. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat shrink a couple different spots on here so that we can make it look clean and neat, and hopefully a little bit more waterproof than it currently is. So, because I forgot to do this before I put the cables together, we are going to have to slide it all the way down the cable. All right, so the first one I'm going to do is where I spliced in the brown and blue cables, or cut off the brown and blue cables. And then, ooh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work either. All right, guys, so kind of screwed up there and ended up putting the wires together before I put the heat shrink tube on, not realizing that I appear to have a fuse connector right here and a plug on the other end. So we're going to try that over again, this time with the heat shrink tubes on, which of course, you know, will invariably get in the way of what I'm trying to do. So we're going to start this side first. Alrighty. Crimp down with the pliers. And then finish it with the locking vice grips. And the dongle's there. Now we go to this end and connect white to black, and obviously red to red. Make sure that that's in there nice and tight, because you don't want this coming loose after you heat shrink it. And one more in the center just for good measure. Make sure those two lines are touching each other. All right, now we have the cable ready. So I'm going to butt these two pieces together and slide my heat shrink over it so that they're about center in there, so that I get a nice good connection between the two. And same here, I'm going to center the where this comes out. And then, because I don't have a heat gun, we are going to use a lighter. You don't want to get it too close and accidentally burn your wires, because then you'll be going for round 3. But just move it around until it shrinks in nice and tight. And this will give you a good nice seal over those wires. It will also help hold some of it together and keep a good tight connection on all your wires. All right, so that's what the end result should look like. Nice and tightly snug together, not going to pull apart. Offers some water resistance. Same thing back here. All right, guys, that is my cable in its entirety. So left the fuse box area open so that if I need to, I can access the fuse. By some mysterious chance, I end up blowing a fuse. And then obviously test it again. Make sure everything still functions properly, which I really hope it does, because I don't want to go for round 3. All right, so connected and powered on. And that, folks, is how you splice in a Garmin Striker 4 CV plus transducer power cable into a Hopkins quick connect and disconnect plug, and then into the battery. So as I said in my battery build out box, there is a 4-way splice for this. It's a 1 to 4 adapter, hangs a little dongle, and you can hook up to 4 components off of one battery. I only need a fish finder for right now, but I left myself the option of being able to expand it at a later date, which is why I built my dry box this way. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video on how to build out a power cable to connect a Striker Plus 4 CV to a quick connect dongle to be able to connect quickly and disconnect quickly from a battery box that I showed you in a previous video. So, hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell so that you can get notified when I post new videos. Coming up soon, I'm going to do the Kayak build out where I'm going to mount the actual Striker onto my Kayak, which for those of you that can see it, you can't see it, so whatever. You'll see it in the next video. And I'm going to mount that. I'm also going to go through how to mount the transducer and take you on a tour of my Kayak. So hopefully when it clears up and warms up a little bit, because Virginia's in a polar vortex right now, I'll have it out on the water and I'll do a demo of the Garmin and how well it works and what I think of it. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe.